how can there be spice when the characters aren't allowed to touch? Well, of course, she explains it. Hey everyone, my name's Amanda and I'm a fun size reader, and today I want to talk to you about A Forbidden Fate by Kaven Hirning. Kaven wrote a book! I know a lot of you probably know who Kaven is. She's like so popular on social media for her ACOTAR skits. She does like the inner circle skits and they're hilarious. Like they're completely varied. She makes them all up. They're all based on like their personalities from the book and how she interprets them. And so like she's super popular all over book channels everywhere. And so I follow Kaven and I've been following that she wrote a book and that it was coming out in October. And so of course I had to support her and read her book. Side note from the book review, I just want to say like it makes me really happy seeing book people and readers writing books. For a lot of people it's like a dream, and I definitely want to support the indie authors or even people who, you know, query and get picked up by publishers that like in this dream. You know, I know authors, it's all their dream to have published books, but sometimes, you know, you get to know these people on social media, whether it's personally or from afar. Like some of these accounts I get to know from afar, but it is inspiring to actually see people moving forward and doing it and having the physical book in your hand. Like you did this, like you did this. So I don't know, I think it's just another reason why I like to support indie authors, and Kaven is one of those. Anyways, A Forbidden Fate. What is A Forbidden Fate about? So it is about a girl named Idalia, and she was betrothed to a prince from a different kingdom. In this world, there are 3 different kingdoms, and they kind of have tensions going across the borders. She was betrothed to Brazian to kind of help the relations between the two, but something goes wrong. Someone kills her mother at the celebratory dinner where like their betrothal was taking place, and then a bunch of gods started being cursed. So the gods decided to take matters in their own hands and curse both Idalia and Brazian that they can never touch, and if they ever do touch, both of them and all of their kingdoms will perish. The kicker to this though is that they actually really liked each other before this curse was made, but then when all of these things happened, they absolutely hated each other. So now, many years later, they run into each other again, and the story goes from there. I gave this book 3 stars. I liked it. I'm invested in it. I'm invested in the characters. I'm invested in the story. I think the premise of having these characters cursed and unable to touch was so unique and like something I was excited for. I think there's more that goes into my star rating that like I want to explain. So I'm going to get through the ratings first. Spice rating. So, like I said, Kaven actually explained that there can still be spice when the characters can't touch, because I guess she was getting that question often because she was promoting this book as a book with spice in it. It does have spice in it. It does. The characters are not modest at all about like their relations in the past. It is not a traditional like royalty type kingdom where the princes and princesses are like saving their virtue. So that is like very commonly discussed throughout the book. But there is one spicy scene. I would give this book 1 chili pepper. It meets the 1 chili pepper requirements on my scale because the characters can't touch. They can touch themselves. So that's how she describes it. Like, they can't touch, but you know, your hand is my hand now, is the way she described it in her videos. You can use your imagination or you can read the book. To my thoughts. So like I said, I'm invested in the story and in the characters. Like, I want to know what happens. But there was a part of the book where I just kind of got lost. We all know that I'm like a plot-driven person, right? So when there's lulls in books, I kind of just have to find the drive to keep reading. And I did feel like there was a lull in the middle of this book. I really liked the beginning and I really liked the end. So like, it was just that there was a middle chunk where I was a little bored. I think that the beginning started off really like plot heavy and getting to know characters and figuring out the perspectives and the things that happened in the past, because there was time hop back to what happened when they first met. There's a lot of like guesswork. Like, I was trying to figure out what was happening with the characters, who did what, who we can't trust, who we can trust, what happened with this curse. It kept me very interested. But then in the middle, there was like a chunk where I just kind of got confused, because the characters were moving through this wood, this like forest wood that's enchanted, has magic. And there were things that were happening that I was like, huh? Like, what? What does that, like, I'm confused. How did that happen? What does that come, what is going on? So I think that confusion really like helped my lull in the middle. I do think that there was a lot of banter in the middle also that I just didn't feel 100% move the plot along, which is why I got a little bored. But there's a but there. If you love Kaven's skits, that was like a huge chunk of this book. Like, she wrote this book like she is, which is great. Like, it's full of like the banter, and I felt like I was reading one of her skits, which was fun and enjoyable, but I wanted more to progress faster. Like, I didn't want just skit scenes in the middle, even though I liked that they were very her. I wanted movement. But then like once that was over, movement happened again in the end, and like more plot happened and breadcrumbs were dropped and things were revealed that like got me interested again. So I just, maybe a little bit shorter would have been better for me. I am invested. I'm invested in the characters. I'm invested in the story, and I definitely will read the second one. Now, I will say that I arguably don't think that the book needed the spicy scene. I felt like it was a little forced, a little out of place. And I think it might have been better without it. Like keeping that longing instead of having that spicy scene in there. I don't know, that's just my opinion. It wasn't bad. I don't know. Arguably, we didn't need it. If you've read it, let me know what you think. If you think that it should have stayed in or should have come out. I'm really glad I read A Forbidden Fate. I want to see where the series goes. I'm really happy to support an indie author, especially a book content creator. Like, go you. So excited for you and can't wait to read more of your books. I will put the link for A Forbidden Fate down in the description below. And don't forget, you can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at The Fun Size Reader. See you guys next time.